Oh, the sun is shining really bright in this place. Well, like I was saying, I was volunteering here, and then they offered me to come in, and I said yeah. And I just followed my instincts. Good thing I got a little bit of experience on what to do in an office. I don't really like it, but they just put me back here, don't pay me no attention. I wouldn't exactly say it's boring because I like to stay to myself. I like to isolate and, you know, let my imagination run wild. But anyway, I want to talk about my life is so peaceful, but when I pray and I meditate, I notice I feel the energy of people around me that I love. All of a sudden, water just falls out I'd be like, what am I crying for? People around me are suffering, and I can't do anything about it. Everybody got to go through their trauma the way I went through mine. And then I have to learn emotional maturity. I'm so emotionally immature. And then, you know, sometimes you think about when, like, growing up when you were young, it came to my mind, when I was a younger woman, I used to always go, the zoo used to be free, Prospect Park Zoo used to be free. Whenever I would have a bad day, like I said, the people in the marriage relationship, they used to always tell me I was nobody, but I was important to animals. I used to go, I asked my oldest son, do you remember when we used to go to the zoo and the animals used to entertain me? I used to go to the zoo and the baby cubs, the little bears would see me coming, and then they would play fight with each other and then look at each other. And then the seals would see me coming, they would start entertaining me, the monkeys and horses. I don't get that kind of attention now from animals. I really don't know because I don't be around animals like I used to. But the zoo is one of my favorite places in the world to go to. But I really wasn't very nice to animals. I did not know how to treat them. But I learned, like, you know, I had a little puppy. He was, I didn't know how to train him, so I was mean to him. And I put him outside, and it was freezing, and he didn't want to come back in the house. He rather stayed outside and froze. Oh, it broke my heart so bad. And then I learned how to be nicer. I just learned to talk to them and communicate with them. They really understand. That's what I learned. But anyway, and I learned a lot from social media. I learned other people, chosen people, animals are attracted to them too. I'm not the only one. Animals are attracted to a lot of people, spiritual people. And then I be thinking, how did I get so spiritual? Like growing up as a little girl, I don't think my mom was really happy. I used to always have to pray, always in prayer. Oh, when I get home, I hope I don't get a whooping. Oh, I hope she's not in a bad mood. She wasn't happy. So I stayed in constant prayer. And I think that praying does something for you. I think praying, you know, staying spiritually connected to something greater than yourself, I think you shine from the inside to the outside. I always had to stay in prayer ever since I was a little girl. So even though, like, they say honor thy mother and thy father, I see why, because sometimes your parents, they may not be really nice to you, and they may not even really know how to be, but the Creator is going to make it a blessing of how they treat you. It's going to be a blessing. So that's how I got that spirit inside of me, that godly spirit inside of me, from staying in constant prayer, from my mom not being happy. She wasn't able to live the life that she wanted to live. I guess, we grow up to, like, she chose to sacrifice her life to be with the man of her choice, and that's what I guess she thought she was supposed to do. And I grew up thinking, I tried to, but I couldn't do it. I could not sacrifice my life to a man that wasn't for me. I didn't know he wasn't for me. Like I said, growing up as a young lady, I met the guy when I was 14, and then, I didn't know how to choose friends or people or men. And then when I became like a young adult, like 18, I remember I didn't want him to touch me. I didn't know at the time that he didn't turn me on. We both thought that it was me, that something was wrong with me. So he would give me all kinds of drugs. One time he went to the city to get some Spanish fly. That didn't work. Smoked weed, put stuff in weed, angel dust and whatever, to make me for me to want to let him touch me. We thought it was me, and then as I go into time, I'm looking back on all these things to put in my biography. I didn't really want to be with him. I forced myself to be with him. I thought it was the right thing to do, like honor thy mother and thy father. I thought being with who your parents wanted you to be with was honoring them. And yeah. And if it wasn't for social media, I never would have well, I wouldn't exactly say that. I always isolated. I learned things that I'm not the only one that go through narcissism abuse from social media. But anyway, when I was with that man, I was growing, and I guess he didn't know any better. He used to like physically attack me, and I was like, I guess he was saying, stop growing, trying to stop me from growing. And he never liked it to go out with me, because I would always get attention. The way I carried myself, everybody, even the animals, paid me attention. And I remember one time my mom said, I robbed him of his youth. I look at his friends, and wow, I think I saved him. I think being with me blessed him. And my friends, we all had our ups and downs and our experiences, but they don't look nothing like his friends. And I'm just trying to think of something to bring you guys while I sit here. I hope I'm making sense. If I don't, so what? Okay, guys. See you soon.